Hello everyone, Blaze here, welcome to the first anime pickups video for the month of July. Starting off here we have the Sentai Filmworks Blu-ray release of part 1 of Captain Earth on Blu-ray. Really was looking forward to this show coming out. Basically it's the latest in a line of mecha genre shows put out by Bones, the studio Bones. They're the company that put out shows like Razafon, Erika 7, Zam, Lost Memories, Erika 7 AO, Star Driver. All shows I've seen, all shows that I've really liked, especially Erika 7 and especially Razafon, and Zam, Lost Memories. I hold all three of those shows in really high regard. So I was pretty looking forward to Captain Earth. I have watched half of the show already, not on this Blu-ray. I think I watched like 4 or 5 episodes while it aired, and then after it finished I watched another 6 episodes, I think it was, or something, to get up to about 11 or 12, and I wasn't particularly enamoured with it. I did really like the way it looked. It looked exactly like the sort of Eureka 7, Razafon Zam type art style. Really enjoyed the bright colours. I really like the mecha designs that Bones do. But the show wasn't exactly blowing me away, and that seems to be, unfortunately, the general opinion on Captain Earth is that it isn't that great of a show. And the reason why I stopped watching it after going back to it after my initial 4 episodes, when I watched another 6 while just after it finished airing, was obviously I wanted to complete it, but the reason why I stopped was because I felt like I just wasn't giving the show the right condition to be watched. Plus, I also thought it was practically a shoe-in for a dub, and that hasn't obviously happened since I put it out subbed only. At the time, I wasn't aware really that just how much this show hadn't really made an impact. But it's something I still look forward to, so I just had to get it. Like, I love those other shows that I've mentioned. I really love the disc art on this. The other disc looks really nice as well. But yeah, I really do love the Bones Mecha subgenre, as it were, in anime. I've had a great time with those shows. Even just recently, I watched Star Driver, and while it wasn't necessarily the greatest show, I didn't feel like it explained certain things that really needed to be explained. I still loved so many aspects of it. And if I get at least a Star Driver type experience with Captain Earth, then I'll be satisfied. If it's anything worse than that, then I'm going to be really disappointed, honestly. But yeah, I was one of my most highly anticipated releases of the year. Had to pick it up the second it came out. So yeah, that's Captain Earth. Okay, so next is not actually an anime per se. As I was just saying, big fan of Erika 7, moderate fan of Erika 7 AO. Obviously, it has great issues, but again, just the general color palette, style, art, animation, action, and the story to some extent is all stuff I really like from Bones when they do mecha. So even though it's not a perfect series by any means, and it's quite a terrible sequel to Erika 7, I still enjoyed it. So something came out in Japan that I wanted to pick up, and that is this. This is Erika 7 AO, the OVA. It's a hybrid disc. In America, we got a hybrid disc, or I'm not actually in America, but in America and the UK, there was a hybrid disc release done for Tekken, and you got the Tekken movie, and you also got Tekken Tag Tournament HD and the Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Prologue mini game included, and it was all on one disc. And this is basically the same thing. So they released the Erika 7 AO OVA, which is actually already included on this set. So the fact that this doesn't have English subtitles for the OVA is by no means a problem. Although it is kind of weird because the Japanese original releases for Erika 7 AO, the TV series, did have English subtitles, but the OVA does not, which is sort of sucky actually. But not really a big deal because the OVA is on the Funimation set. But anyway, yeah, this is for the OVA. You also get actually the Eureka 7 episode 51, which is a kind of like a special TV special they did just before AO started airing on Japanese television. They did a recap of Eureka 7. It's basically just the voice actress for Eureka recounting the entirety of the storyline for Erika 7. It's not that great, and it just uses clips from the show. Like, it's not special. It's on here, but it's not subtitled. It's kind of unfortunate in a way. I mean, it would be cool to have that subtitle, but unfortunately, there is no official English release of that episode. But again, it's just a recap of clip shows, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, so yes, I got this because this has a video game on it, Erika 7 AO Attack the Legend. It's basically just a small mini game. I think it's got like just a handful of trophies or whatever. It's basically the equivalent of like a PlayStation Network, Xbox Live Arcade release, I guess. But it came with this, and this release is super cheap. I got it for like £7. And I was like, I never played the Erika 7 PS2 games that came out. I can't remember what they're called, but they weren't based on the TV series. They were based on a spin-off manga series, but they were in the Erika 7 universe. But I never played those. But yeah, I wanted to play this for the PS3. Obviously, PS3 is region free and blah blah blah. And this cost like a very small amount, so I decided to pick it up. So it's got the front, spine and the back. Again, no English subtitle support, including the video game itself. It's entirely in Japanese, but I just fancy playing a PS3 game where I could fly around in a Nearvash attacking things. That sounded cool, so yeah, I decided to pick that up. Again, not really an anime pickup, but it's a hybrid, so I kind of decided to put it here. So yeah, that's Erika 7 AO, the video game. Okay, so keeping the mecha vibe going, next up we have 5-star stories, or the 5-star stories. Big shout out to Mr. Nage09, pretty frequent viewer and commenter on my channel. I'm pretty sure he gave me a link to this. He knew I was trying to find a copy. He was able to relatively recently find one himself, and then he went out of his way to send me a link to another one, which I totally snapped up. So yeah, the 5-star stories took a while to get it to me. I forgot to put it in the last pickup video, but it's here now. So yes, this is the ADV Digipack version. I'm pretty sure this is the only release on DVD in English that the 5-star stories has ever had. It did come out on Laserdisc back in the day, but yeah, basically it's a 1989 Sunrise film, and the packaging for it is super nice. Unfortunately, my copy isn't like in the greatest of condition, but it's fine. I really love this. So you see how you've got this cutout on the slip cover, I guess, or slip case, and it shows the eyes and the eyes of the robot or mecha. And if I let it fall out, then you get the full image, and I've always loved this image. Whenever I've seen the Laserdisc copy for this on eBay, I've always seen it as just a beautiful piece of artwork. I won't mind finding out who the artist is for this image, and maybe like getting an art book for it one day if he's done a lot of stuff like this, because this is just absolutely fantastic bit of artwork. Really, really like it. So that's the front, spine, as I said, a little bit of wear there. I could fix that, but I don't know if I will. I don't know if I've got the right colour black, but I can normally fix that stuff. And a small silhouette logo here. The book portion we'll look at in a minute actually, so we just open it up. And you've got the repeat of the image there, and then the logo of the show, the movie, whatever. And you've got something that's masquerading really as a booklet, but it kind of just is more a fold out thing. Yeah, you see. But it's got tons of information on the characters, a little essay on the story, and then we've got producer's notes. And on the other side we've got yeah, I don't know if you can see all this stuff. We've got the timeline for the film and the basic terminology of some of the phrases in the film as well. So a really nice package all told. Really like it. It was easy to get for years and years and years. It would cost you less than $20, and it wasn't a difficult find. And all of a sudden, just as I went looking for it, it had gone to really hard to find even a copy online, let alone find one at a good price. But thanks to Mr. Nage09, he did send me a link of one for a good price. And after a bit of problems I had on eBay, I initially got the ROM package. It got a complete mess up, but eventually it arrived to me, and I'm really happy to finally own it. I haven't watched it yet. It'll be something I watch pretty soon. I do believe is this sub only? Yes, it is sub only. I didn't believe it had a dub. So yeah, sub only, 5 star. The 5 star stories. Looking forward to watching it. Samurai Mecha film from 1989. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Nage09 once again. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so next up, a little while ago I picked up the King of Bandaging, the complete light box collection from ADV. Quite hard to get this right now. it's one of those things that just doesn't seem to have a clear listing on Amazon or whatever, so it's quite hard to find. But I picked up the Funimation release of the OVA. This is a 3-episode OVA. I don't know if they got the same cast. I presume they probably did, because it is dubbed, obviously, being from Funimation. And yeah, so yeah, I picked this up because basically it was like a couple of pounds. It was the only bit that was needed, obviously, to complete the King of Bandaging collection. And even though I still not watched the King of Bandaging, I do plan to do that, hopefully sooner rather than later. But then I have a lot of stuff to watch, as you can probably imagine. So, but I'll get to it eventually. So yeah, I decided to pick this up because it was like £3 or whatever. The packaging is really nice. This is actually the Save edition, but it just comes like this. Like there's no Save branding on it whatsoever. I knew that before buying it. As you know, I'm not a big Save or Anime Classics fan, so I I wasn't too keen on the idea of buying a Save edition if there was an alternative. But yeah, the Save edition just comes in normal packaging, and it looks really nice. It does have a reversible cover of sorts. The only problem is it doesn't really. If it came with a slip cover, I'd be more willing to flip this around, but without it, like the only info I'd have is on the spine and in the corner there. But yeah, it's really nice. That's it. Yeah, reversible because the logo is on the spine. But yeah, I don't know what the OVA is going to be like, because I don't know what the TV series is necessarily like, other than I've heard pretty decent things. So yeah, King of Bandaging. Next up, I picked up part 2 of Tokyo Margin. Part 1 I picked up 4 years ago. I've never watched part 1 because I didn't have part 2. I basically, 4 years ago, I picked up a bunch of these style releases from Funimation, the ones that came out like this, before the days when they started doing like limited edition art boxes. Like I think that was early 2012 or 13 they started doing that stuff. I think. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago now. Or maybe even 2011. Whatever, doesn't matter. But anyway, I picked up a bunch of these that had come out like years prior. Stuff like Aquarian Age, Sergeant Frog, The Grey Man, Kaze no Stigma, Big Wind Up. I picked up pretty much just an absolute crap ton of them, because they were super cheap at the time. And I picked up part 1, but I never got part 2. For some reason, I don't know why. It's just obviously that maybe part 2 wasn't cheap, and I'd never got it. But finally have. I'm glad to finally pick it up, because 1, because I've been meaning to for fucking ages, but 2, this is a show that actually interests me quite a bit. It's basically set in modern day Tokyo, and it has like a bunch of demons attacking in the city, and you've got a bunch of like magic users, ninjas, like samurai type stuff going on as well, all attacking them. I don't know if they're in clans or anything, but it just sounds really cool. It seems like a giant mishmash of like Japanese like cultures and previous like military type stuff with the samurais and ninjas and all that sort of stuff. So it's a complete mishmash of all of the stuff that very Japanese, and it just looks really cool. I don't know if it actually is. It did actually get an art box release back in the day. The ADV were the first company to license it, and then Funimation rescued it after ADV went under. And the art box release for Tokyo Margin, it got an art box in like just 2 volumes, and then Funimation decided to not do the remaining 4. Obviously Funimation did do a couple of singles for old ADV art box releases. They did it for like Red Garden, Pumpkin Scissors, Welcome to NHK. Those volumes tend to be really rare these days. I think they did it for Karin as well, maybe. Just a bunch of ones like that. And yeah, they didn't do it for Tokyo Margin because it had only gotten 2 volumes and an art box, and then ADV just stopped doing them because they went under. But yeah, finally picked up and have the complete collection of Tokyo Margin. And next, I have part 3 for Yakitate Japan. Obviously, this is the Shonen Samurai series about a guy who wants to make the national bread for Japan. Just a silly little Shonen series, like 60 episodes or whatever, put out by Right Stuff. I was very, very happy, obviously, about this show getting licensed last year, and I'm very happy to finally have all of it. I haven't watched any of it yet. I plan to do that now that I have all of it pretty soon. So yeah, here's part 3. And then we've got the discs on the inside or whatever. Yeah, so that's all of Yakitate Japan in the art box. And yeah, complete series, really awesome, very nice from Right Stuff. Very happy that this came out. Very much looking forward to watching it, obviously, like I said. So yeah, that's the complete Yakitate Japan. I really honestly don't have much else to say about it. I've waxed lyrically about it enough without actually having seen more than a couple of episodes of it so far. But yeah, all I can really say is looking forward to watching it. If you have any interest in this show at all, please go out and buy it. It comes in this beautiful chipboard art box, and the 3 parts are super dirt cheap. It's 70 episodes pretty much. I think it's like in the mid-60s range. An absolute steal, and a great concept for a show, and I've heard great things about it. And like I said, from the first couple of episodes I've watched, it looks fantastic, and I'll be watching it very, very soon. So yeah, Yakitate Japan. And finally, for part 1, last but without a doubt, certainly not least, I picked up Nishijo My Ordinary Life. This is a series from back in, I think it's like 2012, 2011, somewhere around there. I think 2011, maybe even earlier than that. But troubled history. This is the Australian release put out by Madman Entertainment, one of the biggest, basically the Funimation of Australian anime companies. And yeah, so basically the story in Nishijo was just before, like about 4 or 5 months before Bandai dissolved, Bandai Entertainment America, or whatever they were called officially. But yeah, Bandai, before they dissolved, they licensed a few shows. One of those was Turn A Gundam, which has obviously now finally been released by Right Stuff and Sunrise themselves. And then there was also Go Sick and Nishijo, My Ordinary Life. Both of those shows are pretty big shows from that season or year in which those shows came out. Nishijo especially, and yeah, it was a bummer that when Bandai went under, they never got around to releasing them. Now, since then, obviously, it's been weird that those shows have never been rescued, because there's definitely a demand for Nishijo and Gosick, which both got released by Madman, because basically Madman also licensed them, like a sub-license from Bandai, but obviously from Kadokawa Pictures as well, from Japan, so they were able to release them, albeit subtitle only. These are both sub only, as obviously Bandai never got around to dubbing them. So yeah, but it's weird that those shows, Nishijo and Gosick, never got rescued, and I think it might be because Bandai, for some reason, still have the license and no one was willing to pay it, because obviously they'd already bought the license, they just dissolved and never had the chance to release it. So whoever holds Bandai stuff was not able to sell it, I guess. I have no idea, really, honestly, obviously, but something like that, because whenever it got brought up, when people were asking a couple of years ago quite a lot, like at Q&As, at expos and conventions, to companies like NIS America, who would have been the ideal company to release this, in my opinion, as well as, the Sentais and the Funimations and the Viz Medias, it always came out that someone has already licensed them, but it never came out. Basically, I got fed up of waiting, and I decided to just finally buy these Madman Entertainment releases of at least Nishijo, My Ordinary Life, and eventually maybe I'll get Gosick as well. But I wanted to get this in parts. There is a complete collection, but I love the artwork they have on these releases. They look absolutely great, and I've been dying to watch this show for quite a while. It looks hilarious, basically like an Azumanga Daioh, but on like it's such a overused term, but it's kind of like an Azumanga Daioh on acid or something is what it looks like. It's just completely crazy. Like one of my favorite parts of comedy in anime is facial expressions being super crazy when people react to stuff, and just doing stuff like that, stuff you can't do with real life, live action comedy. You can't do that stuff, at least not without CG effects, etc. And then because you just can't do it. But in animation, you can totally do it. The Looney Tunes style craziness, and this sort of like has that sort of humour in it, and it's simple humour to some extent, but it's stuff that has always made me laugh in anime. I just love seeing over the top crazy reactions, and this show looks like it's absolutely full of that stuff. So I've been dying to get a hold of it, but I was waiting for a company like NIS America possibly to license it, but I just got fed up of waiting. Not when this was so cheap to buy. Both of these together cost me about £22. So the absolute bargain. And like I said, the packaging is really nice, especially on the inside as well. I like the disc art with the black and white images, and you've also got these big images like that on the inside. They're really nice. These are region 4, so if you don't have a region 3 player, or you can't play them on your telly, I guess, but you can always play them on your computer via something like VLC player, etc. There are options out there, but yeah, Nichijou My Ordinary Life is the final pickup for this video. Happy to have it. You can guarantee that now I've finally picked it up, that someone will eventually come and license it pretty soon, which is actually possible because just recently the manga got picked up for Nichijou, and one of the things that I think it was Vertical that picked it up, and one of the things they said was. Vertical or Vertigo? I can't remember. I think it's Vertical. Whatever. One of the things they said when they picked it up was that they weren't able to pick it up previously because of Bandai, which is weird because I'm pretty sure Bandai never handled manga, but I might be wrong about that. But yeah, that does mean if that was the reason, then perhaps this is now open for bidding, and people can definitely finally license this show if they so choose. But anyway, I got the Madman Entertainment Australian releases because they look really nice packaging wise, and that's been the pickups. First half of them are pickups for July, and there'll be a part 2, which will be part 2 of my anime pickups for July. Is going to be really cool. It's basically themed around one company and a bunch of really awesome stuff. I think you guys are going to like it. I've been really enjoying watching a lot of that stuff just recently, and yeah, so look forward to that. That won't be for a little while because I'm still waiting on a couple of things. It might be a couple of weeks yet, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.